I love him in every way that a woman could love a man, from personal to universal, but most of all, it's unconditional. Bruh, that song? Yeah, I used to sing that song, say, wow. All of, like, how could she love a man, sir? She love him too much, man. I wish man have all of that. I'ma find him.
Your body's beat by.
Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to be back again. Are you guys not proud of me? I am here filming again after the first video that I dropped last week. Look at me trying to give, no, you know what? I don't even want to do timestamps, because if this comes out 2 weeks after, I don't want nobody to be after my neck. But welcome back to my channel. My name is Sasha, if you are unfamiliar with me. Some people call me Flaws, and if you are familiar with me, you're probably a part of my family, and we already love each other anyways. So I'm not going to badger you or anything, but if you feel the vibe, I need you to subscribe now, like, comment. I love speaking to you guys. This video has been requested so many times through DMs, through text messages, through calls, through emails. I did it again. Really came up here like I'm not a bride to be. Like, I didn't tell you guys I was gonna be wearing this. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, and it's also a little bit of ADHD, okay? So guys, like I said, you guys have been asking me in my DMs, you've been asking me in comment, you've been pulling me aside on the road, you have been sending messages through 2 people for me. Like, Michael at his day job is like being stopped by you guys, and you guys are saying, tell Sasha this, tell Sasha that, tell Sasha to do a video like this. I want to know more. And I always knew that my whole, you know, love life and everything was something that a lot of people wanted to know about. And I think because so many people wanted to know more about it, I kind of drew it kind of, I don't want to say freaked me out, but it made me nervous, because this is something I really care about, and this is a person I really care about. So I had to really, you know, get into the idea of sharing a little bit more without sharing too much. But today we are officially doing this video, and the video title is How I Knew He Was the One, 5 Telltale Signs. I'm going to give you the 5 signs that I collected when dating the love of my life that let me know that, yeah, he's the one. So while I am doing this, I am going to be treating my face, because I just washed my face. And guys, I don't know, this might have to come off at some point in time, because I'm already feeling a little bit of heat. I'm gonna like no heat, I'm gonna like a whole heap of heat, too much. So this for the aesthetics right now, because we are fiancés, but it might get fling off, so don't be surprised. Let me begin. And by the way, I just want to thank you guys all for all of the love from the last episode. Guys, you guys really made me cry, okay? Now, it don't take much for me to cry. I'm very emotional, but you guys really, like, the comments, the love, the outpour that you guys continuously give me when I do videos like this is just amazing to me. And it makes me realize, I'm like, maybe they really enjoy me sitting here and talking to them like girl talk more than they do vlogs. You guys let me know in the comments how you feel, because based off of the analytics, you guys love when I sit down and talk to Uno. You guys really like when it's me and you. And I like that too, because, you know, the reality is that I have so much to share. I've been through so much, you guys. So much that I have never, you know, spoken about. But I feel like every time I do speak about it, so many people are released. So many people are just saying, like, please, like, understand just how much you've helped me. And all I've ever asked God for when it comes to me is that I am a woman of impact. All I've ever wanted to be was a woman of impact. And when I hear that you guys truly believe that I am, and when you guys literally tell me things that, like, you know, me saying my truth has helped you out of or pushed you towards, when people say that, you know, I make them want a better relationship with God, like, those things, like, there is no gift in the world that means more to me than that. When I have messages from young girls saying that you're the reason, like, Sasha, you're the reason why I decided not to unalive myself, I take this so much more seriously than people know. And I think the reason why it took me so long to get on YouTube consistently is because I didn't feel like I was truly living in my purpose in this space. And I realized that that's how I am with everything. Anything that I'm not consistent with, it's because I haven't found my footing and I don't feel my most authentic self. So I fall off because it's hard for me to show up if I have to be something that I am not. So here I am, fresh faced, because I'm not a beat my face every day type of honey. I do love a good beat face, don't get me wrong, but 6 days out of the week, it's a fresh face honey, which is why I'm going to be doing my skincare routine while I tell you guys these 5 telltale signs that really, you know, yeah. I don't want to blab. I just want to say I love you guys so much, and every single one of your lives matters to me. And if I can push you towards living your best life, and if I can make you realize that God has not forgotten about you, and that there is so much that you gain from truly having a relationship with God, a personal relationship with God, then I have done my job. Okay, let's get in there. Okay. All right, so let's start off with the first sign. And I'm going to give you guys 5 signs, but that does not mean that I am putting them in any specific order. I am literally listing them. You know, they may seem like they're in order, but I didn't really pay much attention to the order. I just put the 5 most important things to me. And some of them I kind of merged together because I really felt like I had like 7 telltale signs. And I kind of made 2 of them a double whammy so that it could fit into the 5. That's just because I really do not want to gyp you guys on the things that I truly believe matter when it comes to picking a partner, or at least for me. And I think it's important to know that dirty girl, panda dirty girl. I'm not dirty. It's just, you know, it's my Deep Sweep Pharmacy pore cleaning toner. So it's cleaning the pores, even though I just washed with my Dermalogica. Yeah, so these are my signs, and so remember, I'm no professional. I am just telling you what has been working for me and what mattered to me at this point in my life after, you know, I've dated. Like, you know, I am still a 30-something-year-old woman, and I've had experiences, and this is what I've gathered, and this is what was most important to me. So number 1 on the list today is consistency. So I know that this is like one of the most cliche answers that a lot of people say, but baby, consistency is everything. And let me tell you what I mean. So when I was dating my fiance, we had met each other at the top of the year, but I was leaving like, say, 2 weeks after I had met him originally. Right now, like I told you guys in the last video, if you haven't watched the last video of how we met, you should go back and watch that first. It might be this video might sit better with you after you watch that one. But when we first met and we like fell for each other, and we were like running the streets of Accra with each other for 2 weeks, I was gonna be going home. And I was sure, like I was sure, because I've dated men who live in my city and it was hard for them to talk to me every single day. Now, I know that there are some people who don't believe that they need to speak to the person that they're talking to every single day. And if that works for you, by all means, go for it. But for me, when it comes to someone expressing the fact that they love you or they want to be with you or they genuinely have genuine interest in you, I don't see how you could go a day without speaking to them. To me, that's fugazi. To me, that's a big lie. To me, I'm have next woman. So, I'm have something going, because how are you okay with not speaking to me every day? Anyway, we were not official. Remember, I gave him a run for his money, right? But I kid you not, that man never let a day, whether I was right beside him or I was 6,000 miles away on the other side of the globe, he never let a day go by without speaking to me. And like I said to you guys, you know, my fiance is a busy man. He's a well-respected man. He has a lot going on. And I loved that. And I still love that about him. But I never expected him to be like, to make sure that he checked for me every day. And I think the reason why I didn't expect that was because I trained myself from dating other people that like, don't be too needy. Don't feel like you need to talk to him every day. Like, you're not that girl. Like, don't be that girl. You know, you can live your life without speaking to him. And baby, he quickly helped me unlearn that bull, because he too was just like, I want to hear that you're good. I want to make sure you're okay. We don't got to talk for an hour, but I want to at least like hear from you. I want to at least see wagwan. Like, I want to at least make sure that you're alive, right? So that was one of my initial signs that I'm like, oh, this guy, like, he's into me, right? And I think a lot of the time we try to convince ourselves because of someone else that we don't want to hear from the person that we are pursuing or that we like every day. And you try to mold yourself to be like them, when really what they're like is set up because they are scamming you. You know, so it's like you're trying to recreate the way that you lean on someone you love because the person that you think you love is loving someone else and needs that extra day to love on them. You get where I'm going here, you guys? A lot of the time, like, we need to be okay with being honest with ourselves. If you need a partner, if you need someone who is going to check for you at least once a day or multiple times a day, it's okay to want that. And it's okay to set that as a standard. You do not have to demote, or you do not have to like retract or be less. You know, I'm not saying you need to have this person talking to you on the hour, but speaking to the person that you care about once a day, I think it's a little bit bare minimum. So that type of consistency is something that was important to me, just because I lose interest very easily. I don't want to say my sign because I'm trying to get away from like identifying with signs and all that stuff, but I'm a Gemini. For lack of better terms, I'm a Gemini. I lose interest very easily. Like, I will be on to the next. And not only is it just to the next person, it's just I will be on to the next phase in life. That's me. I'm forever moving. I need something new. I need something fresh. I need something exciting. So if I don't hear from you, baby, I'm not the type to be crying. Baby, my brain has taken me somewhere else. So his consistency was a really, really big helper for me. And that's how he stayed on my radar. And he's thinking that he's like healing me in a way, or maybe, you know, showing me that he's serious, which it did show me that. But really, he was staying on my radar for me and my brain, because my attention span, baby, it needs consistency in order for you to be relevant. I don't know if you guys can hear my mom, my aunt, and my dad cackling in the back. Like, I just never understand why Jamaicans, Caribbeans, Africans, I just never understand, why does the whole neighborhood need to hear you when you guys are having a conversation? I don't get it. My mom's like, ha, ha! And I'm just like, I don't want to rain on their parade because I love that joy. But like, why does the whole block hear you guys laughing right now? Like, these are the things that got me not recording for a very long time, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear, you're hearing, 1 minute you're hearing someone keying, 1 minute you're hearing someone peeing in the toilet, 1 minute you're hearing someone belch and poop, 1 minute, it's just like, so many things are going on in the house. Thank God that, you know, he's lifted that shame off of me, and I'm just going with the flow. Anyways, so yes, I also wanted to say, like, within consistency, you guys, he reassured me all the time that he was interested in me. He was consistent with reassuring me. He was consistent with saying to me, hey babe, like, listen, I'm into you. I want you. I want to learn everything about you. I want to know more about you. Like, tell me everything. Tell me everything. He always says this to me, which is the cutest thing. He'll be like, I'll be like, babe, this happened. And he'd be like, tell me all about it. I love when he says that to me, like, because, you know, sometimes you bring something and people are like, almost like judgmental right away, or maybe they don't care right away, and you can sense that. Whenever he says, tell me all about it, I just feel like going like, ah! And I feel like I've never had that. And I'm just very grateful. And the reassurance, the consistency in reassuring me that he wants me and that his eyes are on me and that he just wants to know more, really, really set me on fire in the best way. Okay, so the second sign, number 2, he cared about my health. Now, it's tricky. It's really, really tricky, the whole health conversation, especially being a plus size person, because, you know, some people think they are being like health conscious with you when really they're just being fat phobic. And if any of you guys have been following me, I don't know how long you've been following me, watching right now, but if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I'm really not here for the fat phobia. I'm really not here for the guys that you care about my health, but really you just feel like because I'm fat, I'm unhealthy type situation. So I'm very, very careful, and I listen very closely to the way that people speak to me whenever it comes to anything pertaining to health. Okay? It's just a tricky space, right? Because, you know, people don't understand it fully from a plus size person or a fat person's point of view, and it's just dicey. Anyways, so I remember when I stayed with him for a prolonged amount of time, and I had said to him that, like, one of my things that I truly, truly wanted to do was see a Ghanaian doctor, like a natural doctor. And I said it to him, like, in passing, like, before I even got there. And once I got there, everything was going on, you know, my trip was winding down. I had stayed for a significant amount of time, and it was in the back of my head, but I was kind of like, whatever, maybe I'll do it the next time I come kind of situation. And I remember, like, a couple days before I left, he woke me up and he was like, hey, like, we're gonna go to the doctor. And I was like, what do you mean we're gonna go to the doctor? He's like, we're gonna go to the doctor, but she's like 2 hours out. Like, she's a really well-renowned doctor. She believes that we can heal ourselves with all of the things that are already on the earth. And, you know, she comes highly recommended, and I want to take you. And so I was like, okay. So he made me get on a call with her, and she was like, oh, like, what are your issues? I was like, he's like, tell her about the fact that, you know, you have menstrual pains. Now, I've been having menstrual pains since I've had my period. I had my period at 9 years old. And I've been having menstrual pains every period since, right? And so this is just a part of my life, something that I feel is very normal. And because I hear so many women talking about menstrual pains and stuff like that, I just figured that that was normal. So he was like, tell her about that and tell her about, you know, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And so I was like, okay, like he remembered all of these things, but all right. So I'm on the phone with this lady and I'm like, yeah, and I have menstrual pains. She's like, how long have you had menstrual pains? I told her how long, and she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, why is everyone acting like this is so odd? And she's like, oh, and what did they do for you? And so I told her, I'm like, you know, they've given certain medication. I've taken certain medication. And she's like, She's like, all right, calm down. So anyway, we take the trek down there, 2 hours, and you know, it's deep out, like it's like this beautiful little house, and it has like a lot of like natural medicinal signs all everywhere, and all of the equipment is a little older than, or like just different than what I'm used to, but I'm open to the opportunity because I did say that I wanted this. I just never thought that he was hearing me, never thought that he was going to remember. And I remember going and it being one of the best experiences I ever had with a doctor. She was so eager to check me out and figure out what was going on the inside. She did tests. She put me like, I don't know if I have the footage. I'm going to try and see if I find the footage to add it. But she put, you know, these headphones on me where it had to be touching my ears, and it was able to like track like my system, and she could tell that my liver was fatty, and she could tell certain things, and she showed me, she's like, here, look, she's like, all of this is fat in your liver. All of this is like, she was showing me a whole bunch of things, and the way that she was looking at it, she was just so excited because she was like, I wanna help you. So growing up as a Jamaican kid, I'm very aware of washout. Okay, so washout, whether they boil some bush or they boil some type of tea or they give you something from over the counter or whatever it may be, it's supposed to clear out your system. Okay, so she was like, I'm gonna give you this washout and then I want you to come back. And so I was like, oh, okay. Well, I was already afraid when she said like washout. She didn't say washout. She said a cleanse. That's just my Jamaican popping out. She was like, I'm gonna give you this cleanse and you have to drink this bottle. And she gave me this bottle. It's like a natural, it's completely natural. And she's like, you have to drink this bottle, this much from this time to this time, this much from this time to this time, this much from this time to this time. And while you're doing it, you need to document everything, smell, look, how long it took, everything. And I want you to send it all to me. I was like, okay, this is really detailed. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to do this because like I told you guys, I was leaving in like 2 days, right? I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. So I'm thinking, I got away from doing this. Maybe I'll do it at home in the comfort of my home, because who is going to doo-doo, vomit, and fart in front of a man that they're trying to, you know? Like, I just got with this man. Like, you're gonna have me doo-doo up his apartment? No, ma'am. So I was like, whew, got out of this. I'm going home. There's no way that we're gonna be able to track back up here after tomorrow to give her, you know, to have her reanalyze my system after the washout or whatever. So she's like, oh no, I don't want you to do it by yourself, like at home. Like, I really need you to come back. I want you to do it. So he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. I was like, you'll take care of what? He's like, I will be with you tomorrow. I will be with you. I will make sure. She's like, she's going to need real care, you know. She's going to need real care. She's going to need someone to really, because she's going to be very weak. You need to go get her coconut water. You need to go get her, you know, she needs to have her electrolytes up. You need to cut up a whole bunch of fruit. You need to really prepare and be there and support her, because she's going to feel very sick and it's going to be like that for a day. Baby. He's like, I got it. That to me, like, I was like, this is crazy, because the fact that I'm going to be doo-dooing in front of you is crazy. The fact that I'm going to be vomiting in front of you is crazy. Like, it's just early. Like, you know what I mean? It's very early. Most people that I know, even women, cousins, friends, sisters would be like, no sir, you have to go figure it out yourself. You know what, like, you know, only my mother, that is a mother's love, okay, or a father's love. So I was like, okay, panicking, because he was not letting me decline. Like, he's like, no, we have no excuse. You're gonna be your best to go back home. My God. So next day comes, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. in order to start this cleanse. Baby, I'm pissed. Okay, I'm pissed. I'm like, why am I making people draw me to go do cleanse? Like, but I was like, listen, my health, like, is really important to me as well. And throughout this process, I was just like, wow, like, he really, really cares. You know what I mean? Most guys would have been like, all right, you want to do it later? Okay, cool. He was like, baby, you finna get that cleansed. So 5 a.m. I wake up, I take the first, you know, set. Anyway, the whole day I do it the way that she is telling me. I'm recording. I am vomiting from my nose. Okay? I am shitting bricks and running waters of I don't know what. Okay? I feel woozy. I feel tired. I feel exhausted. I feel everything that she says that I'm gonna feel. The smells. Ugh. All of it. Sorry, TMI, but I have to let you know. I remember I was on the toilet shitting. And he was talking to me. Like, he was peeking through the door. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, don't come in here. It smells like doo-doo. And he's like, it's okay. It's okay. Everybody poos. Everybody poos. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, Bati or vomit? Which one? I had to get up so quick. My ass to his face to vomit in the toilet. And he comes running in and he's rubbing my back. And he's like rubbing. He's like, good job, babe. Good job. You're doing well. And I'm like, you love me. You must love me. And in the moment, like, I was just like, oh my gosh. But, you know, he left the house for like, you know, half an hour to go and get me like fresh coconut water. And he came back home with these bags and there was like coconut water for me to drink and a whole bunch of chopped up fruit. There was watermelon and pineapple and mangoes chopped up from the lady on the side. Fresh. And he's like, it's after 5 o'clock. You're allowed to eat your fruit now. And honestly, you guys, I had never had someone outside of my parents care for me to that extent. You know, like, people say they would, like, you know, people be like, oh yeah, you know, but not before making you feel like crap about it. Oh my God, am I crying? Not before making you feel like crap about it. Or not before making you feel like a burden about it, right? And I'm guilty too. Like, if someone told me I'm gonna be shitting and vomiting all day, can you just be here with me? I probably will do it for the people that I love, but I'm definitely gonna be like, why? You know, there's nobody like, anybody who can, but I'll still do it. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, let's just keep it a buck. Let's be 100. And so when we live in a world like this where men are turned off of their wives after they have babies. Men are turned off of their girlfriends because they snore. Men are turned off of their girlfriend because of how she looked at a certain angle. Men are turned off of their girlfriends because of their side profile. It is very comforting to know that I have a man who is beyond all of those things that truly are just trivial and do not matter. It is pleasing to my heart to know that I have a man who is exactly that. A real man. A real man. And I think it showed me so much. It showed me that if ever there was a time where my health declined, which I send back to the sender and I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. But if there was ever a time that my health declined, or if there's ever a time where it's tough while we're having babies, I know that I have a man who's gonna hold my hand, rub my back, and say, baby, it's okay, you're doing good, you're doing well, we got this. That's what that showed me. And so that is why that is my number 2. Okay, time to take this off. I feel a little hot, guys. I feel a little hot. Retired. Not retired, but retired for this video. Number 3. Number 3, telltale sign of how I knew he was the one, is that his presence felt like peace to me. And I also felt my most feminine around him. I don't know how much I can say about this, but if you've dated before in the past and that person did not bring you peace because you were either worrying about where they was at, what they were doing, were they cheating on you, or you were with someone who was always going through your phone, never trusted you and made you feel like you were guilty of something even though you weren't, or, you know, someone who challenges you on the things that you believe, like, you know, maybe you believe in God, but they don't, which, I mean, everybody is in a different space in their life. But I've realized at this age that being equally yoked is extremely important, especially when it comes to picking a partner. It just doesn't make any sense. I used to be the type that would be like, oh, I have enough God for both of us. And then I realized, oh, no. No. I'm gonna need to be with a man who understands who God is and who is consistently seeking God and who is consistently wanting to be pleasing to God. That's something that I need. I'm not the Bible thumping type, so I don't really enjoy being with people who are like, oh, I'm better than, like, you know, I'm righteous and you're not, or slapping you over your head with the Bible, or oh so serious all the time. That's not my style per se, but a personal relationship with God is extremely important, and I realize that now. So being with him brought such a peace to my life that I have never experienced when dating someone, and it's just so hard to overlook. It's like something you cannot deny. You know those people who you don't even have to speak to? You could literally be around them and be silent for an hour and they're not bothered, you're not bothered, you're just happy to be around them. That is what I have also with him. And that's what really, you know, was a big thing for me, because I was like, I don't want someone, because I've dated people where it's like, Lord, what me say, it's like, if we're silent, there's a problem. Like, they gotta fill every ounce of silence with their voice. And that's tiring, especially for an entrepreneur. And I think because he too is an entrepreneur, it's hard. It's very, not hard, but because he also lives that life in a way, he understands the importance of just peace and quiet, you know? Like, we definitely talk, but we also really enjoy peace and quiet times together. And then when it comes to the second half of my why or how, is that he made me feel the most feminine. If you see me look down, guys, it's because I prepared for this video and I wrote my notes down, because I take these things seriously. Okay, and I'm a prepared honey now. Okay, so I'm not gonna just be shooting things off of my head. I prepared for you guys because I love you guys and I want you guys to look for the right things in the partners that you have, you know? So yes, I realized that I felt my most feminine when I was with him. When I'm in Toronto, I feel like a nigga. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I always say this. Coming back from Jamaica, I say, oh, time to go back to Toronto. I'm like, someone pass me my Timbs and pass me my beard, my Velcro beard that I pull off when I'm out here, because I gotta put it back on, okay? the Tims and the beard come right out as soon as I get here, because it's just not an environment where women are made to feel like women. Like, don't get me wrong, we're women, but that's our birthright. That's who we are, right? No man needs to come into your life in order for you to be a woman, but certain masculine energy can really bring out the height of your femininity. And that's exactly what happened when I met my fiance. I immediately switched. And I didn't do it on purpose. It just happened. And I immediately said, oh, okay. This is what the girls are talking about. This is what the girls are talking about. And this is why the standards are set in a certain place. Because once you feel a little bit of this, you're like, but I can't go. Me. Never that. Never, never, never that. He lifted me to a standard that made me realize that there is so much power in my femininity, because he was proud and happy to do the things that were a part of his masculinity. You know what I mean? Like, and some of those things are simple things like holding doors and holding bags. I remember going to the grocery store with him, and he would drop me to the door, and then he would be like, just meet me upstairs. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wait so that we can take out the bags. And he's like, just meet me upstairs. And I'm like, no, but I don't want you to have to go back. And he's like, can you meet me upstairs? And like, it took me a really long time to really truly learn what it was to just be taken care of and to be thought of and considered. And that's just one example, you know, that's just one example. Like, even it was hard for me to, like, I would open the door for him. He's like, no, I'm going to open the door for you. Now you walk through the door and then I'll walk behind you. Even till this day, like, sometimes, like, he'll open the door and I'll be like, okay, go babe. And he's like, I'm like, it's, you spend however many years of your life not being taken care of in that way. It's not like, it's a learning curve. It truly is a learning curve. You know, things like taking out the garbage, you know, and don't get me wrong, because this could be for another video. While he does all of these masculine things like take care and pay for the bills and bring the bags and open the doors and be a gentleman, there are a list of things that are expected from the feminine side of things. And we can get into that conversation because a lot of people are not even ready for that. I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, listen, like, I should be getting this, this, and this, but that does not mean that I need to cook. That does not mean that I need to clean. That does not mean, but we can talk about that another day. That's a whole nother conversation that we can talk about. All in all, he is a leader. Okay, I needed a man that could lead. I am a busy girl and I'm a leader myself when it comes to many spaces in my life. And I didn't want that to mean that I also had to lead in my marriage, in my relationship. I wanted a bigger boss than me, you know? I wanted someone who was gonna be like, listen, I will lead the ship, so you can like turn your brain off sometimes and just follow. And I found that in him, and that was another reason why I was like, yeah, he is the one. Okay, so number 4, by the way, I'm gonna list all of the products down in the description box. But as you can see, I'm using a lot of La Roche-Posay products because they're my fave. And this is their new product, actually. This is their MelaB3, and no, this is not a paid advertisement. Okay, I'm literally just showing you guys what I use. It's one of my faves. Anyways, yes. So number 4. Oh, not on the titties. Yes. So number 4. He took me to church. Now I know we touched on this before. You know, him having a relationship with God, but this one, oh, sorry, booger. This one is more geared to the fact that, like, he pushed me to do something that I just was not doing for like over a year. I grew up in the church, okay? And I have experienced some things, seen some things, endured some things. And honestly, when the pandemic happened, I really let myself get into the, okay, nobody's going to church physically, they're watching church. I really liked that because I was like, I could just be home, watch whatever service I wanted to watch. And to be very honest, like, it was cool, and it is cool to me still, I'm not gonna lie to you. But it allowed me to get really, like, one, lazy when it came to God and meeting with his people. And two, like, it made me go further into hiding away from people because of the hurt that I've had in the past. And I know better than anyone that you cannot allow people and the way that they decide to live a godly life distract you from who God truly is. And so in all of that, I say that all to say that I just wasn't going physically, but I did want to. I wanted to start going physically. And I remember saying to myself that when I go to Ghana, I'm going to find a home church and I'm going to start going to a church. Because, like, I just wanted to bring that back into my life. That's my own desire. This is not anybody telling me anything. That's just my own desire. Like I said, I grew up in church. I was going to church before my parents were going to church. Okay, my parents obviously went to church when they were younger. But there were years in my life as a young child where my parents did not go to church. And I would, like, walk. Like, for my Toronto people, like, I grew up at Western Road and Lawrence area. Western Road and Church, to be specific. And I would walk from, like, Rosemont out area all the way up Scarlet Road to Dixon to go to church. Walk, okay? As a young child, because I didn't want to miss church. So I feel like that was just, like, a part of me. And I don't know, like, I don't know, but it was a part of me. So I wanted to bring it back, you know? But at the same time, saying you want to do something and actually doing it is two different things. You guys know that, right? It's like saying you want to lose weight or saying you want to gain weight or saying you want to eat better. But then when the day comes, it's like, damn, that Popeyes looks good. It looks good. It simply looks good. Okay? And it's kind of the same thing with going into church physically. It's like, oh, yeah, I'll go next week. I'll go next week. But then you're like, let me just turn me out and just turn on one little sermon and go about my business, you know? So anyway, he knew that that was something that I wanted to do. And he's super busy, like I said. But one day, like, I remember he just tapped me on my shoulder, like, no, actually, the night before, he's like, okay, tomorrow we're gonna go to church. I was like, okay. And a part of me was like, oh, that's so sweet that he's actually gonna go to church, and, like, you know what I mean? Because it's not like he doesn't go to church. He doesn't go every single Sunday, but he tries, like, you know, and, like, if his job permits, etc., he tries. And you know, the night before, he gave me, like, a little tap on the shoulder, and he was like, yeah, you know, let's go to church tomorrow. I was like, okay. But I knew that he was super tired, like, you know, and I'm like, this man is tired. I don't know if he's gonna be able to wake up tomorrow morning and go to church. And to be very honest, like, I was kind of banking on him being tired, because low-key, I was like, I can't bother wake up and go to church tomorrow morning, man. Me no know. But I was like, I bet you any money he's not gonna be able to do it. So I remember being in my dream and, like, feeling someone rub my back, like, softly rub my back. And, like, as they were rubbing my back, I was, like, coming out of, like, that realm back to reality. And I realized that he had woken up. He was waking me up, and he was like, I'm not gonna say what he calls me, his nickname for me, but say it's Sweetie. He was like, Sweetie, we gotta get up now. Church starts in 50 minutes. And I remember being like, oh, I gotta go to church. But then I looked at him and I was like, wow, Sasha, when you ask God for something, you better get ready for it to arrive. because I was literally looking at exactly what I asked God for. A reminder, someone who was going to stand beside me and push me and say, hey, we could definitely make some time for God. And that's what he said to me. He's like, I know you're tired. I know you're tired, but we could definitely spare a couple hours for God, right? And I looked at him and I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. He's like, okay, so let's just get ready. Let's go. Let's worship. And then we come home. And I'm like, you're right. Yes, we are going to go to church and we are going to worship for a couple hours and we are going to come home. You're right about that. And honestly, like, I just was like, I remember feeling like, God, what did I do to deserve? What did I do? What did I do to deserve such a beautiful blessing? Like, when God, when God says he's going to give you somebody, like when he's given to you by God, it's like, it's just amazing how they check off so many boxes that you're not even realizing you need to be checked. Like, I just like, these are like my internal thoughts. And like, people like ask like, did you know what you needed before you needed? I didn't even know all the things that I wanted until I met him. Like, I thought I knew what I needed. I thought I knew what I wanted. But I truly, it's like not until I was with him that I was like, wow, God, I asked for this and you gave me this and this. This and this. It's just so complete, total. It is just beyond me. And sometimes I feel like screaming, but I don't. I try to keep it in a video. So that is my number 4. He took me to church. Okay? Okay, so number 5 and final. It's a double, as number 3 was, but it's also extremely important. Like I said, I don't know the order, but they're all very, very important to me. So number 5 was his integrity and how good he is to his mama. I love the way he thinks. I love the way I love the way he speaks. You guys know what song I'm singing. I love the way he thinks. I love the way that he treats his mama. I love that gap in between his teeth. I love him in every way that a woman could love a man. From personal to universal, but most of all, it's unconditional. Bruh, that song? Yeah. I used to sing that song, and say, wow. All of like, how could she love a man, sir? She love him too much, man. I wish man have all of that. I find him. Him have all of it. So yes, his integrity and how he treats his mom. Honestly, that is really important to me because I care about my parents very, very much. So I'll start from the mom side of things. I remember when I told you guys the first day that he like approached me, he was like, listen, I want to take you out. I can't take you out tomorrow because that's my mama's birthday, but I'm gonna take you out the day after. And he kept his word on that. I loved, like, some people don't care for the man that really loves his mom. But there's a thin line between mama's boy and a man who honors his mother and his father so that his days may be long on this earth. Okay? And I believe in that. I believe in that firmly. And I know not all of us have parents that, you know, not all of us have the best relationships with our parents. So I'm not saying that this is like black and white. I know that it varies from side to side, but to see how much he loved his mother and to see how much he cared for her and to see how, you know, I remember like he had gotten a payment late, like from a client, and no, not a late payment, actually, excuse me. Actually, it was like someone who really appreciated his services and was like, hey, like, I just wanted to give you a little extra because like you were just that great. And I just wanted to give it to you as a token of thanks, like months later. And he was just like so overjoyed about it. But he was like, oh, he told me about it. And he's like, oh, it's so nice. So it was like 3,000 Ghana cedis, okay? Or $3,000. Say it was $3,000. And he was like, he's like, yes, so I'm gonna give some to my mom. And he took 2,000 of that money and he gave it to his mom. And the joy that was on his face while he did it was like so heartwarming to me, because it's like a giver, baby, these are things that you got to pay attention to. You got to pay attention to. You see people who are tight with their hand, super, super tight with their hand. When it comes to you, or when it comes to people that they love, I got some news for you. I'm not saying you got to splurge and spend your money frivolously and without sense or without, you know, wisdom. But to see the joy that came over his face to be able to give the majority of what he had gotten. Like, he didn't hoard it for himself. He didn't take it and say, oh, I need it. You know, some people who are like, oh, I need it for da-da-da. The fact that he took it and he was like, I cannot wait to place this in my mother's hand, just warmed my heart, because I am the type of person who, like, my dream is to be able to be so financially well that I can just bless my parents, you know what I mean, in ways that they have blessed me over my life, right? So that was like a sign for me. And not just the money, it's just the fact that, like, you know, how he, like, the little names he calls her, and the way he talks to me about her, and the way he talks to me about her and his father, God rest his father's soul. And just his family, like, he really loves his family, and how he, like, integrates me, and how he, like, wants all of his siblings to love me, and it just, the way that he sets me up to win, especially with them as well, is just such a beautiful thing. He never leaves me on my own. Like, he always, you know, will be like, listen, like, I want them to see you in the best light, because I want them to see what I see in you, you know? And I don't know, that is really important to me. And then the integrity part, just a man of integrity is important. You know what I mean? What you do when no one is watching, the decisions that you make when no one is watching. My fiance is just one of those guys. Like, I remember when I was dating him, his boss and partner said to me, if you end up with him, one thing I can say to you is you have ended up with a man of integrity. And integrity, she didn't know that integrity is a big thing for me. What you will do when no one will find out, or when no one is watching, is so important, because it shows where your heart is at. And I was thinking of sharing a story. So basically, long story short, I wasn't going to share it, but I'll share a little something. So basically, someone had sent him a little extra by accident, okay? A friend of his sent him extra by accident. It wasn't a friend, but kind of like a friend. But anyways, doesn't matter. Nosy. Sent him extra, and because of how they sent it, they probably would have never known that they sent it. And say this friend, you know, was giving him hell at some point in time. He could have been like, listen, for all the hell you gave me, man, just go take this money, because you won't even know that you sent it. You won't even know that I took it, whatever. And I remember, like, other people were saying to him, just keep it. Like, after all of that, just keep it. Like, you know, maybe this is God sending you extra. And the fact that he, like, pissed everybody off. He pissed everybody off, and he was like, I'm so sorry, but I have to return it. I have to return it because God is watching. If no one is watching, one person for sure. And the type of, you know, that what goes around comes around, that God be giving out, I don't want none of that if it's not the good kind, you know? And I remember just, like, watching how all of that went down and just saying to myself, wow, I have a good one. I have a good one, because enough people would have figured out how to finesse in a way and just zipped their mouth, took that extra change and said, hey, it was good riddance. It was meant to be, right? But the fact that he even went against what everybody else was saying and still did the right thing shows me that not only is he a man of integrity, but he will stand up when he is even alone. When everyone else is saying this, he will stand on what is right, what is honest, and what is true. And that is the type of man that I want to lead me. That is the type of man that I want to raise my children. That is the type of man that I want to stand beside. That is the type of man that I want to back up. That is the type of man that I want to fight for. That is the type of man that I want to say, God, thank you. Thank you for sending me the love of my life. You guys, those were my five telltale signs, and I hope that they got to you. I hope that they resonate with you. I hope that you are taking them in and you are looking at your situation that you're either in right now or a situation that you're about to be in and saying, you know, maybe one or two of these are things that matter to me as well, or maybe all five of them are something, or maybe none of this is what you need in a partner. I know a lot of people, their 5 telltale signs is something completely different. You know, some people would say that, like, they want gifts, you know, I want him to show me blah blah blah. That stuff does not matter to me, baby, because gifts can't hold me in the middle of the night, and they surely cannot help me and my salvation. That is for sure. I've never really cared about things like that, but that's me, and I'm not shaming anyone for wanting what they want, but these 5 things are the things that mattered the most to me, and these 5 things are what made me realize, yeah, I could do life with him. I could really do life with this person. So if they ask me after this point, it's yes, it's hell yes, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please tell me if you would like me to do more and more things like this, because I have a list of questions that you guys have asked me, and I could do a ton of videos. I could do a ton of sit downs. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are my 5 points that you think are valid and important? If you got those 5 things, if you saw those 5 things in your partner, would you also say yes to them going forward? Would you also feel like they were the person that you could marry? Is there something that you would add to the list? Please fill me in. Is there something that you would take away from the list? Is there something that you think is not even flipping important? Fill me in. I want to know, because maybe I need to still look at certain things. I know I said yes and everything, but maybe I need to make sure. Maybe I need to add a little extra, put a little more pressure on the kid. Joking, babe. No more pressure for you. No more pressure. Always pressure, but no more pressure. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I love you so much. If you are new here, please like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe right now to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you're watching my every move, what with you? Are you an op? Are you an op? Are you an op? Are you an op? Okay, so subscribe to the thing. Share this with someone who needs it, because a lot of us are in relationships that we know we don't have no business being in, and we can talk about that too, because I could go back. I could talk about what I had to take myself out of. So you let me know what you want down in the comments. I love you guys, and I hope that you have the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day, evening, week, whatever it may be. Cheers to me being consistent and coming out with new content all the time. Guys, I'm about to make my first $100 on YouTube on my personal channel. I'm almost at that threshold. If I get a paycheck for $100, I'm gonna be very proud of myself, and it's gonna motivate me to keep going. I mean, I'm at like $74, so I'm going to keep pushing. And with your guys' help, with you guys being here, watching, subscribing, commenting under my videos, it really, really helps me, because truly, like, that's what I want. Like, one of my biggest goals is to just really grow this personal channel once and for all, and get another one of these, because, you know, I already have one. I already have one for Daddy's Kitchen. Now I need one for Fiancée Couture for our family, you know? Like, our family is the longest family of the 2. So we should really be past the 100K mark. And we're going to get there. I have a feeling. I have a feeling, because I'm going to be consistent, right? Right. Love you guys. Next time you see me, I'll probably be in Florida, because I have a funeral. But anyway, I don't want to, yeah. Anyways, I love you guys. Have a wonderful week. I will talk to you soon. New videos on the way. I stay forgetting to do all of the regimens and all this stuff. Guys, let me add some vitamin C to my face because this has been a cheat code. This vitamin C from La Roche-Posay is flipping amazing. There was another kind from L'Oreal, but them need to take a little page out of La Roche-Posay's book because baby, this one, oh, it smells so good. And when you put it on, oh, the way that it makes your face just so, oh, I can't believe I was not using friggin' vitamin C on my face. Like I tried using, I have it here. I tried using this one. Okay, now it's leaving. Now you're ashamed to come out. I tried using this one, the Revitalift Pure 12% Vitamin C by L'Oreal. But it's not giving this C10 Pure Vitamin Serum by La Roche-Posay. It's really not giving that. This one is like heaven sent. Yeah. This is just for the people who care about the skincare side of this video. Because the video is definitely over and I just realized that I didn't finish as always. And then I just let it sit a little bit and rub it in. And then I go over it with my snail mucin. That's it. Now part of me feels like I might have done that in the wrong order. Like maybe I should have put the snail mucin after I did the hyaluronic and the other serum before the vitamin C. But baby, I don't care. Well, I do care. But if you guys have, you know, suggestions, just tell me in the comments. But guys, you can't tell me my skin doesn't look friggin' fantastic right now. Does it not just look, oh, gorgeous? Straight down on the neck. She's a skincare girly now. Anyways, like I said, love you. Bye.